This is Bruce Friedman of Adult Site Broker, and welcome to Adult Site Broker Talk, where each week we interview one of the movers and shakers of the adult industry, and we give you a tip on buying and selling websites. This week we'll be speaking with Leah Mahi of XBiz. Adult Site Broker is proud to announce the launch of our new website at adultsitebroker.com. We've added some enhancements to the site, such as FAQs and a complete new platform. The look and feel of the new site are nice and up to date. The new site also has links to our marketplace and affiliate program. Plus, don't forget ASB Marketplace, the first platform where you can buy and sell adult sites and domains for free. ASB Marketplace allows buyers and sellers the chance to come together on properties that are valued below our company's minimum of $50,000. Don't pay for other marketplaces when ASB Marketplace gives you this service for free. Visit asbmarketplace.com and sign up as a seller or as a buyer today. And of course, there's ASB Cash, the first affiliate program for an adult website brokerage where you can earn as much as 20% of our broker commission referring sellers and buyers to us at Adult Site Broker. Check out asbcash.com for more details and to sign up. Now let's feature our property of the week that's for sale at Adult Site Broker. Internet.com, the ultimate internet domain, is now available, and we are proud to list it. The domain gets 6 million unique visitors a month. This domain can be used for any of a number of uses. The opening bid is only $35 million. Now time for this week's interview. My guest today on Adult Site Broker Talk is Leah Mahi of XBiz. Leah, thanks for being with us today on Adult Site Broker Talk.
Oh, it's a great pleasure. I'm excited. Thanks for having me, Bruce.
I am excited too. It hasn't been easy to get you on. Okay, so I'm going to tell people about XBiz for those who don't know. And now they've been at the forefront of adult media since their inception. XBiz is the industry source, providing the best coverage to professionals and consumers worldwide. Their properties include xbiz.com, which is the leading source for industry news, in-depth features, and business resources. XBiz.net is the industry social network connecting professionals worldwide with business opportunities, which I am on a lot, including right before this interview. XBiz World is a trade publication for adult digital media, providing in-depth analysis of current and emerging tech trends. XBiz Premier is a journal for adult retail, covering trends in product manufacturing, distribution, marketing, and sales. XBiz Director of Marketing and Advertising, Leah Mahi, partners with content platforms, pay sites, web services, talent, and a host of other organizations to promote adult industry brands and champion sex workers. From coordinating star interviews and company profiles with XBiz World Magazine's editorial staff to interfacing with the XBiz.com news team, as well as executing sponsorship campaigns for the diverse array of annual XBiz events and award ceremonies. Leah combines the evolving needs of her clients with the well-being of the community at large. Uniting industry members from all market sectors in an exclusive setting, XBiz LA tracks the evolution of adult, providing attendees with the knowledge to stay ahead of the curve. The week-long January events deliver a lineup of symposiums and keynote addresses featuring the industry's foremost thought leaders to examine current trends and identify emerging opportunities. The events include the XBiz Show, a digital B2B media event, the new X3 Expo for creators, the XBiz Awards, hosted by Maitland Ward, it's quite a get, at the Hollywood Palladium, and the ANME XBiz Hybrid Worldwide Expo for the product and retail industry in beautiful downtown Burbank. Johnny Carson lives. I'm sorry, Leah, that's all the time we have for today. Just kidding.
I was just listening to everything you say, and it amazes me to hear it from the outside in, because everything that we do and everything that I have my hands in,
Yeah.
you just kind of do it, right? And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
by listening to you list it off, I'm like, holy moly, like
Did that make you
that's
more
pretty.
ti did that make you even more tired than you are now?
It kind of made me feel very proud and
You should.
privileged. I was
Yeah,
kind
you
of
should. You guys
excited.
do a
So
lot.
thank you
You
for
guys
that.
do a
Thank
lot.
you.
No, hey, you guys are a big part of our industry, no doubt about it. So, Leah, I know you have an advertising and marketing background. So tell me how you got into the crazy adult industry.
Well, it's funny is before adult, I mean, I've had several jobs and I don't think a lot of people realize, but I was a flight attendant, and
Really?
I
For what
was
airline?
for Southwest Airlines actually.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
We probably met. I used to go down to Burbank. I used to go down to Burbank every weekend for a year. I was dating a woman who worked for ABC, and we used to be up and down every other weekend. So
Oh yeah, I guarantee you then, because I was originally stationed in Chicago, so I was taking the East Coast flights, and then the snow, it was just unbearable. So
uh,
I transferred back to the West Coast, and
sure.
I did those short hops. So Burbank was definitely one of my
Were
hops.
you there during that whole what I forget what the hell they called it, but it was like there was like so much rain and so many delays that year.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Okay,
you
we
would be
met.
amazed. Yes,
We met.
it's crazy. It was unreal. But yeah, I was a flight attendant. I managed top LA attorney offices. I worked for top financial firms. I was a massage
Oh,
therapist. So I had several jobs, but when I moved to Hawaii, that's when I kind of found my love for advertising and marketing. Yeah, so less than a few years, I was promoted to advertising director. So I
yeah.
was managing 5 teams and over 30 employees for the Island News.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it's pretty intense. I was recognized as the youngest advertising director of
Hmm.
all of the islands at the time.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
isn't that
Now,
crazy?
now, didn't you grow up in Hawaii?
I grew up here in Los
Oh, okay.
Angeles,
All right.
but my father is born and raised in Hawaii.
Ah.
So yeah, so I moved to Hawaii for about 15 years, and
Oh,
then
wow. Yeah. It's a long
and then
time.
I came back. So back to your question about how I got into adult.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my oldest daughter has a medical condition that required me
Hmm.
to uproot my family and move
Mm.
back to Los Angeles for her
Oh, wow.
medical care. Yeah, so I was sending out my resumes, just knowing that I had to move back to Los Angeles. I was kind of just shooting out my resumes in anything that had marketing advertising
Hmm.
requirements. And
Yeah.
so I sent it to XBiz without realizing what the company was. Alec called me, but we hit it off immediately. And
Sure.
so, yeah, so what sold me was the fact that Alec was so passionate about XBiz and the
Hmm.
adult community.
Sure.
And that's kind of what drew me to want to be a part of it, because marketing and advertising is the same in any industry, and
Yes.
adult is no
Don't I
different.
know? Don't
So,
I know?
yeah, right?
Yeah.
We talk
Yeah.
about this a
I was in
lot.
radio.
So,
Sure.
for
Yeah.
me, exactly. So for me, I was completely open to adult, and I
Yeah.
was excited about getting involved in the fact that I had to move to LA, so my daughter
Hmm.
can have medical care that the
Hmm.
islands weren't able to offer her.
Yeah.
Plus, I was able to come employed. Oh, that was a blessing for me.
Oh, well, hello. Nice to show up employed as opposed to not having a job.
Right? And I knew I had to get here. I just didn't know how,
Yeah. Sure.
and so that to me was a sign that it was going to be okay. I was uprooting my family and
Yeah.
moving back to Los Angeles, and I was in Hawaii for 15 years. So
Mm.
I mean, I had complete roots back on the island. So
15
coming
years.
here,
Sure. Yeah.
yeah, coming here, and Alec and XBiz just being so welcoming just made
Yeah.
me know that this was a right move.
Sure. Now, how is the transition back to the mainland?
Oh, Yeah. Now that just getting on a freeway, I was like so culture shocked,
I bet.
and
Oh,
I
LA,
was
yeah.
yeah, I mean, I was born and raised in LA, but coming from an island that when you honk at somebody, it's because you know them on the
Uh-oh.
island, not because it's road rage. So coming back to LA, and I live by the beach, so going back into downtown LA to the office, I was scared as heck just trying to get on that freeway. But,
Sure.
like anything, muscle memory, I was just
Yeah.
became an LA girl all over again.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. How about your family? How was it for them?
Oh, it was, my family was hard. I mean, my kids went to traditional Kamehameha schools on the island,
Mhm.
um, and they're used to calling everybody auntie and uncle,
Mhm.
regardless whether you're related, it's a form of
Right.
respect for the
Yes.
island
Yes.
kids,
Yes.
right? And
Exactly.
so their teachers, they call kumu, which means teacher. They don't call them by Mr. or Mrs. So
Mhm.
coming here, and then they every morning they do an island prayer kind of opening up the day. So
Hmm.
it was a lot of transition for the
Sure.
kids not understanding why nobody's auntie and uncle, but within a few years these kids are, they're
Kids are
they're
kids.
they are LA babies.
Mhm. So, you're a very active working mom, and that's something I
Mhm.
really respect since I was raised by a single mom. How do you
Mm.
balance everything, especially at a time like this, which is probably your busiest time of the year with all these shows?
I didn't know that you were raised by a single mom. I love
Yes.
that.
Yeah. 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 Oh, yeah. From a very young age, from like the age of 8. So, yeah, absolutely.
So I think that you kind of relate. I was a single
I do.
mom,
I
yeah,
do.
for a lot of years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and
It's hard.
yeah, no, it's completely hard. So I mean, anyone that's a single mom, I mean, I bow down to. I mean, it is one of the
Yes.
most difficult jobs to do in life.
Oh,
Is
maybe the most difficult. No, she was amazing. She was amazing.
yeah, and I love that. And I think, like my oldest son, I was a single mom and I had him at a very young age. So I have a complete different relationship with my oldest son because
Hmm.
it's kind of as if we grew up together. I'm sure you
Yeah.
can relate, right?
Yep.
I mean,
I
that
can.
that he was
Yeah.
my little man, and
Yeah.
so
Sure.
I was dependent on him as much as he was dependent on me at the time,
Yeah.
we're just trying to get through it together, you
No,
know?
I get it. I get it.
So I love that. I love that,
Yeah.
Bruce, and I almost want to just give you a big hug because I get it, I can totally
2
relate,
weeks.
but
In 2 weeks.
there you in 2 weeks, but yeah, so, balancing it all, I think, being a mother, there is no balance, you just go. You go,
Yeah, I know.
and
Yeah.
I'm the type of person that I'm either all in or I'm all out. So if
Mhm.
I love something and I love hard and I have passion and drive for it,
Mhm.
or I just don't do it.
Yeah.
And so for me, everything that I do for XBiz and the shows and my clients and the performers and the community members, it's just like family and my
Well, it
kids.
is.
I just kind of being back and forth.
Yep. I get
You
it.
just got to do it,
It's
right?
like having 2 families. No, I'll tell you what, I say this all the time that the adult industry is a family. It's a big family.
Mhm. It is. I mean, it's a big family to the point that like you said, I've come from the mainstream side of it as
Mhm.
well as the adult side of it, and hands down, the
Mhm.
adult community is one big family. When you say a
Yep,
community, it truly is a community. So
it is.
when your clients are some of your best friends, they're some
Mhm.
of your mentors. They're all,
Yep,
or you're the mentor.
yep,
It just
yep.
you really truly spend so much time with them on a
Right.
level that most people looking from the outside in just can never even understand.
Yeah, and I think our industry is just so different from any other, because it's just tighter. There's a lot of noise from the outside. There's a lot of attacks from the outside, and that just causes everyone to pull closer together.
No, I agree. I agree. And I think, the shows are so important because that's what
Yes,
kind of binds everybody
big
together,
time.
right?
Yeah, no way. That has really been lacking. I this will be my first show in almost 2 years, and man, I feel it. I really feel it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So xbiz.com is a daily tool for myself and others in the industry to find out what's happening in our business. How important a part of your network is xbiz.com?
Xbox.com is our flagship product. I mean,
Mm,
it makes everything we do possible and fuels our global growth. I
mm.
know we do a lot, like your intro says. I didn't realize we do that much,
That might be
but
a record. That might be a record intro for, as far as length, by the way.
but at the end of the day, we are a news and information company. And
Yes,
there's no better way to distribute our content than xbiz.com.
no two ways about it. How many people do you have on your editorial staff?
We have I mean, in the office, we have a very small group that people don't realize in office, but then we
Yeah,
have so many satellite
yeah,
editorial, so from all over the world. I mean,
yep.
we've got employees in Japan, we've got employees just all over.
Yeah.
But in terms of the core editorial staff that are
Hmm.
there in our office on a daily basis, we have a total of four.
Okay. Wow. Get a lot
Hmm.
done.
Yeah.
Um, get a lot done.
Well, they get a lot done considering it's four and how much news comes in on a
Yes.
daily basis. It just
Huge.
is 24 hours a day nonstop. So these guys, they're machines. I mean, I think
Mhm.
everybody that works for XBiz is a machine.
Yeah, you gotta be. Um, another platform I spend a ton of time on is xbiz.net. It's a great
Hmm.
place to meet other industry professionals virtually and discuss what's going on. I found myself using it a lot more since the
Hmm.
pandemic started. Have you found the same thing to be true overall in the last couple of years?
Well, yeah. I mean, XBiz.net's core value is interconnecting everyone, right? So during the pandemic, that is just kind of exploded,
Yeah.
and I think over the years, people have come to realize that it's really a valuable tool.
Hmm.
Discussions are great too, but ultimately
Sure.
it's about connecting the people with people. And
Right.
so people like you had, we were talking earlier, people coming into the industry, not just because it's our product, but it's because of the fact that I truly believe that this xbiz.net is the opportunity for folks to build relationships with
Yeah.
the community. They can use it as a leads list. We've got the directory of a number of different categories and all the people in it. And the beauty
Hmm.
behind it, and I always show,
Yeah.
clients coming in, is in your profile, the decision leaders are there and it
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
has their
Yeah.
emails, it has their Skypes, it has their telegrams and WhatsApp. So your this is the only ultimate black book you'll ever find.
It's interesting.
It's
Yeah,
it's
that's
it's
right.
it's a perfect way to build relationships digitally as well as seek out possible business opportunities for you.
Absolutely. Lately, since it's become such a big thing with the OnlyFans of the world,
Mhm.
um, you got a lot more creators on there and performers.
Mhm. Yeah, no. I mean, and I think, in terms of the creators, I mean, the creators themselves, we have kind of pivoted towards the creators for years now, between our XBiz Cam world and our creator world, as well
Hmm.
as our XBiz Miami show.
Yeah,
The creators have been a part of XBiz for years, and now
sure.
it's just becoming more of an abundance, and people and other community members are kind of seeing that. And really, for the performer, this is the perfect time. I mean, they are really a core, intricate part of the community on the
Yeah,
business side as well as on the
noticed. Yeah.
talent side. So
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
so happy.
Well, and there's a certain percentage of them that have morphed into pretty successful entrepreneurs.
Oh yeah. I mean the traffic that the talent has is unbelievable, you
Yes, I
know,
know.
and the ability to they're the ones that can garner that loyalty. You know, their
Sure.
fans would love them, love who they think, you know, in terms of wanting to support them and wanting to make sure that they're taken care of, whether that's their education, whether that's, you know, a number of different opportunities that they can help support. So right now, creators they're definitely in a very good position.
Absolutely. Now, I read XBiz World every month online. Obviously, getting things delivered here to Thailand is a bit problematic. Um, and if you tried to send it, who knows? I might end up in jail. Your company still has two print publications in an age when so many magazines and newspapers have disappeared. Now, how relevant is print publishing today as we go into 2022?
Oh, shoot. For us, print publishing remains super relevant, while
Hmm.
digital editions help expand the reach
Yeah.
and the convenience. Our print editions are the products that make the greatest impact in terms of brand messaging for my clients and companies.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Now, let's talk about the upcoming events, and maybe you can give us a bit of a preview. The one that's the most important to me, and I'll mention it first, is the XBiz show, since it's B2B, January 3rd through the 6th at the Kimpton Everly Hotel in Hollywood. Talk
Mhm.
a bit about this event and the best way to get the most out of it for attendees.
Well, I mean, it's still very traditional. We
Hmm.
are having it at a new location. I
Yeah,
love the Kimpton Everly. I think it's a super cute boutique, um, stylish
I like
Hollywood
the pictures.
hotel. Yeah, right. It and I stay there often, and I
Yeah,
truly love it. So that us being able to move it to the Kimpton, oh, I was extremely happy because I really
cool.
feel like the community will enjoy the hotel. They'll
Okay.
enjoy the comfort of it and the
Hmm.
boutiqueness of it, but
Yeah.
at the same time they'll enjoy the luxury of it. That is I'm super excited for the community to see. But then in terms of the show, it's still very traditional. I mean, we're going to have our talent track that we typically have. We'll have the webmaster track, and then we'll have some workshop tracks. So that doesn't change.
Yeah.
We are going to kind of stay away from doing a speed networking for obvious reasons. It's just a little too close for comfort.
Oh, that now
Yeah,
that bums me out. Well, that's my
I
favorite
know.
part.
I know, but the beauty about that is that we'll have a lot more cocktail parties. So you'll be
Hmm.
able to have these connections and these conversations rather than a speed dating where it's like, hurry up and I'm yelling at you guys to move. You'll be
Yeah,
able to
and
actually,
you do. Ooh, you're tough.
you can tell I'm a mom, right?
No,
I'm
and
such a
no,
mom.
I feel like a kid, and you know what? I appreciate that. By the way, the guy who does that at some of the other shows is Alex.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
at LeConte,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
and I did another interview with him recently,
Oh, I
and
love Alex.
we talked about that, and you guys are the two best at that. I mean, you just okay, move, everybody, move, come on, kids.
But you know what? I love Speed Network. I know
I do
it's
too.
crazy
I
and
do
chaotic,
too.
but I just love it. And it's such a fun event for me. But,
Hmm.
you know, we want to make sure that we put our attendees in safe environments. And so
Yeah.
we opted out not to do it this year, but we are going to have cocktail. And it really, I think now the day, you know, the way that kind of life is, it's important to go back to have these conversations. It's important
Mm,
to be
sure.
able to have really substantial conversations nowadays. And I
Yeah.
think by us having cocktails opportunities. And then of course our winter wonderland, which will be super exciting and fun. And it's, that people wait for that year round.
Hmm.
That'll be there. We're going to have our exec and honors. And I
Hmm.
hope you saw the announcement. We've
I
got
did.
Leah Tanit and Austin
Two of my
as our
favorites.
hosts.
Yeah, two of my
I
favorites.
know.
I sent them both.
I'm
I
super
send I
excited.
send them both emails. Yeah,
Did you?
congratulating
Oh,
him. Of course, you know me.
yeah, I love it. And they're such good friends, and I think their
Leah's great.
chemistry and their
So's
synergy.
Austin.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So the LA show, it's gonna be just as exciting. I'm excited to get back to it. We are going to be as safe as as possible. I think again,
sure.
we've been in it for so long that I think everybody has their own personal precautions, right?
Right.
So everybody is for me, like I just told
Hmm.
you earlier, my daughter has medical conditions. So what
Yeah,
I do is what I do for me. It doesn't mean that the next person is going to do it for them, but I know
yeah.
what I do for me. And so
Right.
um and I still enjoy it. So
Oh, sure.
I'm looking forward to seeing everybody, and
Me
at the
too.
same time having some great conversations.
Yeah, I'll go to those cocktail parties and I'll be standing on the other end of the room and going, "Hey, how you doing over there? Yeah, what's going on?" And we can have a conversation that way.
Well, yeah, we're gonna have one on the rooftop, so it is
Perfect.
outdoors.
Perfect.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
No,
Yeah,
outdoors is definitely great. And in LA, it's never
yeah,
too terribly hot or cold. So,
yeah. And
I'm in,
at the
I'm in
Kimpton,
Thailand. I'm always thinking hot.
I understand.
You do?
Thailand is, I have to tell you, people, in Hawaii, or at least on the Big Island,
Mm,
you would think local food, Hawaiian food, would be something that we're known for. But on the Big Island where I'm from, it's Thai food.
interesting.
Thai food and sushi are the best
Oh well,
foods that we have.
Japanese food in Hawaii is big
Yeah,
because there's so many Japanese people
correct.
who have migrated there, and we got some great sushi here too. God, about 5 minutes away, there's a sushi buffet that's like $20 for all you can eat, and
Oh,
well, that's a lot for here. Okay,
yeah, that's
and yeah, but oh, it's good. And yeah, and so yeah, I mean, I just load up on the sashimi,
oh
and
yeah,
oh
yeah.
yeah, go for the expensive crap. I mean, really. So
Yeah, I love it. But all in all, like, going back to the show, it
yeah,
we're super excited coming back. We've
me
got
too.
a lot of big header. We're going to do. We also have some keynotes happening, so that'll be super exciting. And I'm really excited about the two keynotes that's going on. We
Hmm.
also are going to have our very first gay summit, and it's kind of
Oh,
it's co-hosted with Cornell Media and XBiz.
cool. Oh,
So
nice.
that is super
Well,
exciting.
those guys are
And then
great. Those guys are
yeah,
great. Yeah.
yeah, and then we'll have our FSC summit that we typically have, and then
Yes.
we've got
Yes.
all our great workshops from different companies, and of course
Mm-hmm.
Pineapple Support. So
Mm-hmm.
we've got a whole really good lineup, and
Yeah.
it's going to be really fun.
Yeah, you mentioned FSC. I had Mike Stabile. I interviewed him last week, and that's going to be
Mm,
on in the new year. So we try to cover every base possible. He was
good
great.
for you.
He was
Good for
great.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And we'll talk a little bit about Pineapple Support later. Now, the second event is the brand new X3 Expo for creators, the
Mhm.
7th through the 8th at the Hollywood Palladium. Ooh. Now, what's the agenda for this show and why did your company feel the need to start it?
Well, like I said a little earlier, we focused on the performer community for years now.
Yes.
Like I said, we have our Cam World, we've got our Creator World magazine, we have our XBiz Miami show. As you know,
Hmm.
our XBiz
Yes.
Miami show is a complete B2B creator show, which allows creators the opportunity to meet with their peers, educate one another, and explore business opportunities to expand their revenue streams in
Hmm.
an industry only environment. So we've been part of the the performer a direction for a little while now. But
Yes.
since the onset of the pandemic, there's been a huge shift away from the traditional adult to over to the world of the creators and independents.
Sure.
So we saw an opportunity to reimagine the trade show experience, one that's kind of tailored for the creator community to empower and promote themselves in new ways to ultimately help boost, again, help
Mhm.
boost their business and to give our sponsors an opportunity to be in the direct eyes of the fans. So for us, it was a win-win.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Didn't surprise me you guys were going to do a creator show. I think it's well timed.
Yeah.
Next is the annual XBiz Awards, January 9th, also at the Palladium. We mentioned Maitland Ward is going to be the hostess, which
Mhm.
is freaking awesome. Now, I know you're very involved in the XBiz Executive Awards as well. So why don't you
Yes.
talk about those?
Well, the exact awards, it's, honestly, is it. I get really excited. It's a really piece of my heart because
Hmm.
with the XBiz LA Awards, which I love, it's huge. It's the biggest award night out there, but
Hmm.
it really focuses on is a lot on the companies and the brands and
Hmm.
in that kind of realm, where the exact awards is truly about the execs within those brands, right? And so
Yes.
being able to highlight the movers and shakers of the brands, to me, is like the ultimate. Like, I just it plays a big part in my heart, and so
Hmm.
I get really excited about that. So, and then plus the fact that with the exec awards, the nominee, they're all nominated by our community. And so
Right.
that just shows how you and I were talking, that the community is one big family. Because when
Yeah.
it comes to the exec awards, I mean, I don't play a big part in terms of the awards team, but I do know that there's tons of votes, and people really get excited about wanting to recognize their peers.
Yeah.
And and you can't say that in every industry. So
I agree.
so it's really special. And then on the honor side of it, as you know, the XBiz awards is very large, and if we had to put every category on stage, it'd be like a 5-hour award show.
Oh, please no. Please
So
no.
so because of that, there's certain
I'll be
categories.
jet lagged.
Right? And by then, I'll be so tired from the complete other shows. But no,
Exactly.
but all kidding aside, there are certain categories that we still want to make sure get recognized and deserve to be on stage. So we select a few categories that we feel is very important to be recognized among their peers, and we announce the winners at the exec awards. So,
Hmm.
and that's a few days before the big award, so that's
Right. That's going to
exciting
be
as well.
virtual, right? Yeah.
Well, not virtual. No, no,
Oh.
our all of our award shows are in person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, we're not streaming it.
Oh, okay. So the ninth is the XBiz Awards.
Mhm.
The executive awards are when and where?
Oh, so the exact awards are always tied into our LA show. So the
Oh,
exact
okay.
awards will be January 5th
Oh,
at the show hotel at the Kimpton
oh,
Everly at
okay.
7:30. Yeah. And
I
then
didn't see that. Okay.
mhm.
Very good. Well, thank you for correcting me. Okay. So there's got to be a COVID question because, well, there does. And we kind of touched on this, but I thought let you get in a little more detail. What health and safety measures are being taken at the four events?
Well, with Los Angeles, obviously we are one of the I say the top, like, precautionist, like, I think we take the forefront in terms of safety for COVID
You made the
in
word.
Los Angeles. I mean,
Let me write that down. Precautionist.
you so yeah, so we're going to follow the CDC, obviously, and then with the LA show,
Yeah.
the hotel, and again, you follow the CDC, and then also it's dependent on what the venue requires, right?
Well, and that's
So
the LA Health Department, right?
correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
do both. So, we follow CDC. So for the LA show at the Kimpton Everly, it will be vaccination or COVID, COVID
Test.
negative test.
Yeah.
And then with the Palladium, again, vaccinations are required based
Hmm.
off the venue requirements. Yep.
Okay.
So,
Tuesday next Tuesday, I get my booster shot here in Thailand. Isn't that great?
oh, good.
It
My,
really
my,
it really helps that my wife's a nurse, but I have to drive to Bangkok. Damn it, that's like two
oh,
and a half hours.
no.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it's okay. It's okay. I gotta
Yeah.
go. I gotta go to Bangkok occasionally. What can I
There
say?
you go. Well, let's see, as of yesterday, everyone in my family is now vaccinated because my
Good.
little one now was, once they opened up the younger kids to get
Yes.
vaccinated, we were
Good.
finally able to get her vaccinated.
I see you've been named a community
Mm.
liaison for Pineapple Support, which Adult Site Broker proudly supports as a sponsor. How outstanding is it what Leah Tannett and her team do for our industry?
Oh God. Like I was just talking to Leah today, like hands down, like her and all of the therapists and everyone that kind of supports Pineapple Support, and
Hmm.
her whole team is amazing. And I think
Yeah.
she's really kind of the trailblazer that said, "Hey, look, this is what Pineapple Support wants to do. This is what we're going to offer the performers, but not just the performers, just anyone really in the industry
Right.
itself,
Right.
um, and have a safe place to go to." And she does it in a way that's so welcoming and so accepting that when she asked me to be a part of it, of course, like that's
Hmm.
an honor for me to be a part of it. And
Yeah.
any way I can help, because I am in a lot of the forefront with the performers, from my
Yes.
shows to the awards to now X3. So I'm constantly put the magazine. So on a pretty much daily, weekly basis, monthly basis, I'm either talking to performers just as much as I talk to my clients. So to be
Right.
able to offer that help if needed, yeah, that was something that I just couldn't had to be a part of. So Leah is an amazing woman.
Yes.
Everything that she does, it comes from her heart, and so
Hmm.
I can't speak enough about her. I mean, she's such a great woman.
I
She's
cannot.
an angel of the industry.
I can't agree more. I can't
You
agree
know,
more.
we
She
have a
might not.
lot of them,
She might
but
not agree with the angel part, but I just I can't agree more. Well, Leah, I can't wait to see you
yes,
at the why that rhymed. Can't wait to see you at the shows, and I'd like to thank you for being our guest once again on Adult Site Broker Talk. And I'm looking forward to not only the shows but getting a chance to do this again the next time around.
yes, no, I really enjoyed myself, Bruce. Thank you so much for taking the time out to conduct this interview. And yeah, anytime, let's next time think of a topic, and let's just sit down and have a conversation about it. I'd be honored to come back onto the show.
You got it. My broker tip today is part 4 of how to buy a website. Last week, we discussed making an offer and deciding the best price for the site you're buying. Once you've made your offer, the work begins. If you're working with a broker, like say, I don't know, maybe Adult Site Broker, we handle the negotiation for you. Let's say the seller doesn't accept your offer. They may make a counteroffer. If you decide that you're willing to pay more, you can either accept their counteroffer or counter back to them. A good rule of thumb, of course, is to always leave room to negotiate. So don't make an offer that's the absolute most you're willing to pay. If you do that, then you have nowhere to go if the owner counters your offer. Once the owner and you have come to a deal, then it's time to do some due diligence beyond what it is you've already done. During the initial process of looking at the site, you should have asked some questions, like in the case of a pay site, how many joins and rebills there are per day, and any other pertinent questions. During due diligence, you need to make sure everything is where you need it to be technically to integrate it with what you're already doing. You may even get your developer involved if you're not tech savvy. You and or your developer should ask these pertinent questions. Once those are answered to your satisfaction, you should either have the seller or yourself draw up a sales agreement. I always tell my clients to do the agreement. Why? Because that way you can dictate the terms. So whether you're the buyer or the seller, you can make the rules. However, just be ready to have the seller's attorney change some of those rules. Nothing is final until everything is signed off on. Another thing we do for our clients is we do a letter of intent prior to the sales agreement being done. This gives your attorney a roadmap for the agreement. The letter of intent, and more so the agreement, will have all of the terms involved, including who pays for everything. Who pays for escrow, for instance? This can be paid by the buyer, the seller, or split between both parties. We'll talk about this subject more next time. Since it's the holiday season, we'll take a break next week and pick up again on January 5th when we'll be speaking with Andreas Bischoff of the TES affiliate conferences. Also, Adult Site Broker Talk will be on hand at XBiz LA and Internet Expo Las Vegas, interviewing some of the people attending the shows. Special segments of Adult Site Broker Talk will follow both events. Make sure and join us for those special segments. And that's it for this week's Adult Site Broker Talk. I'd once again like to thank my guest, Leah Mahi. Talk to you again next time on Adult Site Broker Talk. I'm Bruce Friedman.